What if I told you that your body sends you clear warning signals hours or even days before a life-threatening emergency? But most people over 60 completely ignore them. Right now, thousands of seniors across America are experiencing these exact warning signs, but dismissing them as normal parts of aging. In the next 15 minutes, you'll discover the exact 4 warning signs that could save your life or the life of someone you love. One of these signs is so subtle that 80% of people dismiss it as normal aging, but it's actually your body's final desperate cry for help. Medical professionals at leading hospitals see these missed opportunities every single day, and today you're going to learn exactly what to watch for and what to do immediately when you notice these signs. Beverly Chen, a healthy 73-year-old from Arizona, had dinner with her family on Tuesday evening, laughed with her grandchildren, and went to bed feeling perfectly fine. Her son found her unresponsive Wednesday morning. The devastating part was that Beverly had experienced 2 of these warning signs the day before, but dismissed them as just getting older. Her family later learned that if she had recognized these signs and acted immediately, she would still be alive today. Warning sign 1: unexplained severe fatigue combined with shortness of breath. When did climbing stairs become exhausting? If you've noticed that simple daily activities suddenly feel overwhelming, your heart might be trying to tell you something absolutely critical about your survival. Research from Johns Hopkins Cardiology Department shows that unexplained fatigue combined with shortness of breath is one of the most overlooked warning signs of an impending heart attack, especially in people over 60. This isn't the normal tiredness you feel after a busy day or the expected breathlessness after physical exertion. This is when walking to your mailbox leaves you gasping for air, when getting dressed in the morning feels like running a marathon, or when you need to rest after taking a shower. Dr. Sarah Mitchell from Johns Hopkins explains that this combination appears in nearly 70% of seniors who suffer heart attacks, yet most people never connect these symptoms to their heart. The medical community has identified this combination as particularly dangerous because it often appears gradually over several days, making people dismiss it as a natural part of aging. According to cardiologists at Johns Hopkins, when your heart muscle isn't getting enough oxygen-rich blood, it can't pump efficiently, leading to this overwhelming fatigue. Your body is essentially working overtime to compensate for a failing cardiovascular system. The shortness of breath occurs because your lungs are trying to get more oxygen into your bloodstream to support your struggling heart. What makes this especially treacherous is that people often blame other factors like the weather, stress, or lack of sleep when their cardiovascular system is actually failing. The American Heart Association reports that this symptom combination precedes 65% of heart attacks in people over 65, yet it's the most commonly ignored warning sign. Harold Winters from Michigan experienced exactly this scenario last spring when he noticed that his weekly grocery shopping trips had become exhausting, and he found himself sitting in his car for several minutes just to catch his breath. Harold initially blamed it on the warmer weather and his age, but when his daughter insisted he see a doctor, they discovered he had severe blockages in 2 major arteries. The cardiologist told Harold that he was likely within 48 hours of a massive heart attack. Harold's quick action saved his life, but many others aren't so fortunate. Dr. James Rodriguez from the University of Michigan Medical Center explains that Harold's case is typical of what they see in emergency rooms across the country. People arrive after suffering massive heart attacks, and their families report that the patient had been unusually tired and short of breath for days or weeks beforehand. The solution is straightforward, but requires immediate action and overcoming the tendency to minimize symptoms. If you experience sudden, unexplained fatigue that makes normal activities difficult, combined with shortness of breath that doesn't improve with rest. You need to seek medical evaluation immediately. Don't wait to see if it gets better on its own. Don't schedule an appointment for next week, and don't convince yourself it's just age catching up with you. Call your doctor today. Go to an urgent care center, or if symptoms are severe, call 911. Your heart doesn't give warning shots, and this combination of symptoms could indicate that a heart attack is imminent within the next 24 to 48 hours. The Mayo Clinic emphasizes that early intervention can prevent heart muscle damage and save lives, but only if people act quickly. Don't wait until tomorrow, because this could be your heart crying for help right now. Warning sign 2. Sudden severe headache. Unlike any before. Have you ever said, "This is the worst headache of my life"? Those words should trigger immediate alarm bells, especially if you're over 60, because they could be the last warning you get before a catastrophic brain event. Harvard Medical School stroke research findings indicate that a sudden severe headache that feels completely different from any headache you've experienced before is often the first and only warning sign of a brain hemorrhage or impending stroke. This isn't your typical tension headache or even a bad migraine that builds gradually over time. This is a headache that comes on suddenly, reaches maximum intensity within minutes, and feels unlike anything you've ever experienced. Dr. Patricia Williams from Harvard's Neurology Department describes it as the brain's emergency alarm system going off at maximum volume. The medical explanation behind this warning sign is both simple and terrifying, and understanding it could save your life. When blood vessels in your brain begin to leak or rupture, the increased pressure inside your skull creates this distinctive severe pain. According to Harvard's Neurology Department, this type of headache is your brain's emergency signal that something catastrophic is happening to your most vital organ. The headache often comes with additional symptoms like neck stiffness, sensitivity to light, nausea, or changes in vision, but sometimes it stands alone as the only warning you'll get. What makes this particularly dangerous for seniors is that age-related changes in blood vessels make them more prone to rupture without warning. The National Institute of Neurological Disorders reports that people over 60 are 3 times more likely to experience brain hemorrhages, and the sudden severe headache is often the only advance warning they receive. Vivian Rodriguez from Texas woke up at 3 a.m. with what she described as a headache from hell that was completely different from any headache she'd ever experienced. Instead of taking pain relievers and going back to bed like she normally would, she remembered her doctor's advice about sudden severe headaches and called 911 immediately. The emergency room doctors discovered she was having a brain hemorrhage, and because she acted quickly, they were able to stop the bleeding and save her life with minimal long-term effects. Dr. Michael Thompson from Texas Medical Center explained that Vivian's quick thinking saved her from what could have been a fatal brain hemorrhage. He emphasized that most people in Vivian's situation would have taken over-the-counter pain medication and tried to sleep it off, which could have been a deadly mistake. If you experience a sudden, severe headache that's unlike any you've had before, you need to call 911 immediately and resist every urge to treat it yourself. Don't take pain relievers and wait to see if it gets better. Don't drive yourself to the hospital, and don't wait until morning if it happens at night. Time is brain tissue when it comes to strokes and brain hemorrhages, and every minute that passes without treatment increases your risk of permanent disability or death. Emergency medical teams can begin life-saving treatment in the ambulance, and hospitals have specific protocols for rapid treatment of brain emergencies that can make the difference between full recovery and permanent disability. The American Stroke Association emphasizes that brain emergencies require immediate professional intervention, and attempting to treat symptoms at home can waste precious time that your brain doesn't have. Remember, your brain doesn't get a second chance, so every minute counts when your brain is in danger. Warning sign 3, chest discomfort that comes and goes. Why do so many seniors ignore chest pressure that isn't that bad? This dangerous mindset has cost countless lives because people expect heart attack pain to be dramatic and overwhelming, like in Hollywood movies. Mayo Clinic emergency medicine guidelines specifically warn that chest discomfort in seniors often presents as mild pressure, squeezing, or burning sensation that may come and go over hours or even days. This intermittent nature makes it particularly deceptive because people assume that if it goes away, it must not be serious. Dr. Elizabeth Carter from Mayo Clinic's emergency department explains that this misconception kills more seniors than almost any other factor because they wait for the big one while their heart is actually crying for help through these subtle signals. The medical reality is that your heart muscle can experience periods of reduced blood flow that cause discomfort, followed by periods where flow temporarily improves, making the discomfort subside. This pattern is extremely dangerous because it indicates unstable coronary artery disease, where blood clots are forming and dissolving in your coronary arteries. According to Mayo Clinic cardiologists, this on and off chest discomfort often precedes a complete blockage that results in a massive heart attack. The discomfort might feel like heartburn, muscle strain, pressure from tight clothing, or even like you pulled something in your chest. This is why so many people dismiss it completely. The Cleveland Clinic reports that 60% of seniors who suffer heart attacks experience this intermittent chest discomfort in the days or weeks before their attack, but less than 20% sought medical attention because the symptoms weren't constant or severe enough to concern them. Frank O'Sullivan from Maine experienced chest pressure while watching television on Sunday evening that lasted about 10 minutes, then disappeared completely. When it returned Monday morning while he was reading the newspaper, Frank almost ignored it again because it wasn't severe and he had things to do. Fortunately, his wife insisted they go to the emergency room where doctors discovered he was having a silent heart attack. Frank's quick action prevented massive heart muscle damage, but he was literally hours away from a potentially fatal complete blockage. Dr. Jennifer Walsh from Maine Medical Center told Frank that his case was textbook for how seniors experience heart attacks. She explained that Frank's heart was essentially stuttering, trying to work with partially blocked arteries, and that the coming and going nature of his symptoms was actually more dangerous than constant pain because it indicated unstable blockages. The solution requires overcoming the dangerous tendency to downplay symptoms and wait for them to get worse. If you experience any chest discomfort, pressure, squeezing, burning, or unusual sensation in your chest area, especially if it comes and goes, you need to seek immediate medical attention. Don't wait to see if it happens again, don't assume it's indigestion or muscle strain, and don't tell yourself it's not bad enough to worry about. Call 911 or have someone drive you to the nearest emergency room immediately. Emergency room doctors have specific tests and treatments that can determine if your heart is in danger and can prevent a full heart attack from occurring. Silent heart attacks kill thousands of seniors every year because they ignore these subtle warning signs. The American Heart Association emphasizes that modern emergency medicine can prevent heart attacks if patients arrive in time, but too many people wait until it's too late. Your heart doesn't give second chances, so act now. Warning sign 4. Sudden confusion or difficulty. Speaking. When did finding simple words become so difficult? Sudden confusion or difficulty speaking is one of the most critical warning signs of an impending stroke. Yet many seniors and their families dismiss it as normal memory problems or fatigue. CDC stroke prevention guidelines emphasize that any sudden change in thinking, speaking, or understanding should be treated as a medical emergency because your brain is literally running out of time. This isn't about occasionally forgetting where you put your keys or struggling to remember someone's name. This is about suddenly having trouble completing sentences, understanding what people are saying to you, feeling confused about familiar surroundings, or having difficulty finding words that you've used thousands of times before. Dr. Robert Kim from the CDC's Stroke Prevention Program explains that these cognitive changes are your brain's distress signal that blood flow is critically compromised. The medical explanation involves understanding how strokes develop in the brain and why cognitive symptoms appear first. When blood flow to specific areas of your brain becomes restricted, those areas begin to malfunction before they die completely. According to CDC research, language and cognitive centers are often among the first affected because they require constant high levels of oxygen and nutrients to function properly. The confusion or speech difficulties you experience are literally brain cells crying out for help before they suffer permanent damage. What makes this particularly insidious is that these symptoms can come and go, leading people to think the problem has resolved itself. The National Stroke Association reports that 40% of people who suffer major strokes experience these warning signs hours or days beforehand, but most dismiss them as temporary confusion or being overtired. Dr. Amanda Foster from Johns Hopkins explains that the brain's language centers are like canaries in a coal mine. They're among the first to show distress when blood flow is compromised. Dolores Martinez from California was having lunch with her sister when she suddenly couldn't remember the word for fork and seemed confused about where she was in a restaurant they'd visited hundreds of times. Her sister noticed that Dolores was having trouble forming complete sentences and seemed to not understand simple questions. Instead of waiting to see if Dolores felt better after lunch, her sister immediately called 911. Emergency room doctors confirmed that Dolores was having a mini-stroke, and immediate treatment prevented a major stroke that could have left her permanently disabled or dead. Dr. Carlos Rivera from UCLA Medical Center explained that Dolores' sister's quick action saved her from what neurologists call the big one, a massive stroke that destroys large areas of brain tissue. He emphasized that family members and friends are often the first to notice these subtle changes because they know the person's normal speech and behavior patterns. The key to responding to this warning sign is understanding that confusion and speech difficulties require immediate emergency response, not a wait-and-see approach. If you or someone you know suddenly has trouble speaking, understanding speech, finding familiar words, or becomes confused about familiar people or places, call 911 immediately. Don't wait to see if the symptoms improve. Don't assume it's just tiredness or stress, and don't drive to the hospital yourself. Emergency medical technicians can begin stroke treatment in the ambulance, and hospitals have rapid stroke response teams that can administer life-saving treatments, but only if you arrive within a specific time window. Use the FAST test that doctors recommend. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, time to call 911. Every minute that passes during a stroke means more brain cells die permanently, and those cells can never be replaced. The American Stroke Association emphasizes that modern stroke treatments can prevent permanent disability, but only if patients receive treatment within the first few hours. Your brain is running out of time, and every second matters. These 4 warning signs represent your body's desperate attempt to communicate that your life is in immediate danger. The difference between Beverly's tragic story and your story can be as simple as recognizing these signals and taking immediate action instead of hoping they'll go away on their own. You now have the knowledge that could save your life or help you save someone else's life. But knowledge only works when you act on it immediately. Don't let pride, embarrassment, or the fear of being wrong prevent you from seeking help when your body is sending these critical signals. If this information could help someone you care about, please share this video with your family and friends right now, because it could literally save their life. Have you or someone you know ever experienced any of these warning signs? Let me know in the comments below, because your experience could help save another life and give others the courage to act quickly. If you want more life-saving health information like this, hit that like button and subscribe for weekly updates that could make all the difference for you and your loved ones.